Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management? We are going to Roth School today. Roth University, University of Roth, Roth Tech, Roth A&M, whatever you want to call it, we're going to get you up to speed on Roth Conversions, what they are, why they might work, and what else you need to know. And to help us decipher the topic, we pulled in Jenny Jesse. Hey, Jenny, welcome back.
Hi, Danny. Thanks for having me.
Jenny's a financial planning specialist, CFP, and also an EA, an enrolled agent with the IRS, which just fascinates me, by the way. She's an active member of our financial planning team and does powerful behind-the-scenes work on behalf of our clients. So, Jenny, let's start at the beginning. Tell us what Roths are, Roth Conversions. When did they become a thing? When is it a useful tool for retirement planning?
Roth Conversions first came to be in 1998, but there were restrictions on who could execute a conversion. In 2010, Roth Conversions became available to everyone. A Roth conversion is when you intentionally take funds from a traditional IRA or employer-sponsored retirement plan, such as a 401k, that have not yet been taxed. You pay the taxes on those dollars and transfer the funds into a Roth IRA. Once the funds are in the Roth, they grow tax-free for future tax-free withdrawal. So a Roth conversion can be useful to minimize the total tax someone pays during their lifetime. The idea is to take funds from the traditional IRA, pay the tax when you're in a lower tax environment, and avoid having to pay the tax on those funds down the road in a higher tax environment. Once an individual is subject to required minimum distributions, also known as RMDs, they are required to take funds out of their pre-tax accounts, which could push them into a higher tax environment. Conversions can reduce future RMDs and the taxes associated with RMDs. And Roth conversions can also be a powerful legacy tool, increasing the amount of tax-free assets for heirs to inherit.
Before we sat down and started this conversation, I was telling you that there was a point in my life when Roths were new and I could make the decision to do it, and I didn't want to, right? I didn't want to pay that tax. Are Roth conversions kind of a mulligan? Are they to kind of make up for that for people that maybe could have or should have gone with Roth in the first place?
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are pretty pre-tax heavy. They pretty much just save to those pre-tax investments throughout their working years. And now they're looking to get that tax diversification, help themselves out later on down the road in retirement, get some of that tax-free bucket built up.
Roth conversion process has the potential to be kind of expensive, right? Money moved from a traditional account to a Roth, that's treated as ordinary income. It's taxed accordingly. Does that mean that it pops you up into a higher tax bracket?
That is correct that the dollars moved from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA are taxable as ordinary income in the year the conversion occurs. However, it may be worth moving to a higher tax bracket and paying the tax now, allowing for years of compounding tax-free growth, boosting your tax diversification for flexibility later on in life. People often look to minimize the amount of tax they're paying in the current year, but it's important to look at the big picture.
And you have to, right? Because when I hear you'd be moving into a higher tax bracket, there's the tendency for people to kind of shudder at something like that.
Right. And sometimes it is worth it. Even if you're going into a slightly higher tax bracket, it may be lower than the environment you're going to be in retirement. So it could be worth it just to pay those taxes now and hopefully reduce the amount of tax you're paying overall throughout your life.
Is there the strategy of converting the account over a period of years to limit a tax bite in any single year? Is there a Goldilocks zone that lessens the tax bite?
Yeah, so what you just mentioned is a partial Roth conversion, and that allows us to strategically utilize lower tax brackets over the course of a few years. Here at Annex, we look at the tax rate a client is projected to have in the future, especially once those RMDs kick in, to determine if it might make sense to execute a Roth conversion now in a potentially lower tax environment.
We're with Jenny Jesse, financial planning specialist, CFP, and an EA, an enrolled agent with the IRS. We're talking about Roth conversions. How about high earners? People who might have heard the phrase backdoor Roth. Is that for them?
Yeah, so Backdoor Roth is a way for high-income earners to contribute to a Roth IRA if they're phased out of direct Roth IRA contributions due to income limits. This involves making a non-deductible contribution to a traditional IRA and converting the dollars to Roth. There are some considerations with Backdoor Roth to ensure the IRA contribution that is converted is non-taxable, so I recommend consulting your financial advisor if you think Backdoor Roth might be an opportunity for you. It may also make sense for high-income earners to execute Roth conversions. It depends upon the taxpayer's current tax environment and their projected future tax environment, as well as their time horizon to determine if it makes sense to do a Roth conversion. Let me give you an example. So a couple in their 50s might be in the 24% bracket, but already have a substantial amount of pre-tax assets saved that are projected to put them in a higher tax environment in retirement. In this case, it may make sense to convert some of their pre-tax assets to Roth and utilize that 24% bracket, in turn reducing future RMDs and hedging against the compressed single tax brackets for the surviving spouse. The longer time horizon for the assets to grow within the Roth IRA also make the strategy more compelling.
Okay, my head's spinning. Is there a point, as you work on behalf of our clients, solution tends to present itself fairly simply, or do you have kind of kick at it a little bit?
Roth conversions can be pretty complex. As you just mentioned, there are a lot of factors to consider, especially since a Roth conversion cannot be undone. It's important to consider all the factors, see exactly how much may be appropriate or if a conversion may be appropriate at all.
Jenny Jesse's a financial planning specialist and a CFP, part of the planning team at Annex Wealth Management. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.